I Want It That Way is a song by the American boy band Backstreet Boys, released as the lead single from their third studio album, Millennium. It was written by Martin and Andreas Carlsson, while Martin and Kristian Lundin produced it. The pop ballad talks about a relationship strained by matters of emotional or physical distance. Critically, the song was met with positive reception, with most critics commending its catchiness and loveliness, also calling it the pop ballad of the year. The song was nominated for 3 Grammy Awards, including Song and Record of the Year, and has been included in lists by Blender, MTV, Rolling Stone Magazine and VH1. I Want It That Way is considered one of their signature songs, and commercially it reached the #1 spot in more than 25 countries, including Austria, Canada, Germany, New Zealand, Switzerland and the United Kingdom. In the United States, the song peaked at number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart for 8 non-consecutive weeks, while it topped the adult and top 40 mainstream charts. The song has been widely covered and parodied by a range of artists, including other boy bands such as JLS and One Direction, while its music video, directed by Wayne Isham, received famous parodies, including Blink-182 on their music video for All the Small Things, Big Time Rush on their music video for Like Nobody's Around, and The Wanted on their video for Walks Like Rihanna. The original music video received 4 VMA nominations, winning Viewer's Choice. Background and history: after the success of their first 2 albums, Backstreet Boys and Backstreet's Back, the band recorded their third studio album, during 1998 and 1999. When the members of the Backstreet Boys came to Stockholm in November 1998 for a 2-week recording engagement, they were eventually presented the demo of I Want It That Way, which at the time only consisted of the main chorus. Upon leaving Sweden on November 16, vocals for the song had been completed in 2 days. Originally, Larger Than Life was intended to be the lead single, following the similar formula of their first 2 albums, having an upbeat lead single. However, after hearing the final version of I Want It That Way, the group wanted to move in a more mature direction, by utilizing a mid-tempo track as the lead single. Zomba recording executives had to be convinced to approve of the song as the first single, due to them citing that the group could alienate fans with a mid-tempo song that had vague lyrical meaning. In the end, press information in the form of snippets was authorized for release to radio stations in March 1999, to precede the song's release to radio in April. Censorship On August 19, 2011, China's Ministry of Culture released a list of 100 songs including the then 12-year-old I Want It That Way that were required to be removed from the Internet. This purge came about because the ministry claimed that these songs had been released without first being subjected to a mandatory screening process conducted by ministry officials as per official government policy. Media sites were given until September 15 to delete the named songs or face unspecified penalties. The Chinese government claims that such measures are necessary for national security purposes. Writing and inspiration: I Want It That Way was written by Andreas Carlsson and Martin, while Martin and Kristian Lundin produced the track. The mid-tempo ballad finds the guys gushing expressions of romantic affection. The acoustic guitar arpeggio riff, which forms the song's intro and reiterates throughout the verses, was written at the very end of the recording sessions and was, according to Carlsson, inspired by Nothing Else Matters by Metallica. The song is written in the key of F minor, and their vocals span from E4 to B5. An alternate version of the song, with different lyrics, were written and recorded by the band in January 1999. The version was included in some early demo presses of the album. In the alternate version, the song has the opposite message. The alternative lyrics were written by Martin and Carlsson in collaboration with Mutt Lange. The alternate version was leaked on the Internet via Napster and other methods in the early 2000s, and was also played infrequently on some radio stations. According to then-member of the Boys' backing band, Tommy Smith, the album version is the original version. The alternate version was recorded because the chorus of the album version did not make sense. In an interview with Headquarters, Andreas Carlsson confessed that the song was a play with words. According to him, when Max came up with the original idea for the song, it already had the line "You are my fire, the one desire." We tried a million different variations on the second verse, and finally we had to go back to what was sounding so great, "You are my fire, the one desire." And then we changed it to "Am I your fire, your one desire," which made absolutely no sense in combination with the chorus, but everybody loved it. Lyrical interpretation. Many critics over the years have questioned the song's lyrical meaning, mainly the line, "I want it that way." Ben Westhoff of LA Weekly dissected the song, writing that its lyrical content makes zero sense. For Westhoff, mainly, the meaning of that is at issue. While analyzing the lyrics, Westhoff perceived that none of the sentiments in the chorus seem to go with any of the other ones. Even worse, no further explanation is given for what that is. The critic assumed that in the song someone simply don't like it when its lover express preferences, never wanting to hear when his girlfriend says she wants things in particular ways. Andrew Unterberger of Pop Dust also questioned its lyrics, writing that the song "Do Us Euro unregistered trademark T make a whole lot of sense more on that in a minute euro, and in the odd phrasing of the title and certain other key lyrics." Unterberger also noted that the phrase "I want it that way" is similarly devoid of inherent meaning, but Euro unregistered trademark S used recurringly as a kind of conclusive phrase, always calling back to those first two lines, as the song gets gradually more despairing in nature. Unterberger also found out that the chorus would appear to be in direct opposition to the rest of the song. Unterberger concluded that the song is about a relationship that Euro unregistered trademark S troubled by matters of emotional and/or physical distance, but that the singer feels strongly enough about to keep it going just the same Euro until the chorus, at which point he decides that Euro unregistered trademark S not worth the trouble. No, it do us Euro unregistered trademark T makes sense, but Euro unregistered trademark S still stirring, beautiful in its own weird way, and undeniably unforgettable. And frankly, we will Euro unregistered trademark T want it any other way. Kevin Richardson, member of the band, explained in an interview that, ultimately the song really doesn't make much sense. Richardson also wrote that Max Martin, who co-wrote and co-produced the song, barely spoke English. His English has gotten much better, but at the time, said Richardson, there are a lot of songs out there like that don't make sense, he continues, but make you feel good when you sing along to them, and that's one of them. Critical reception. I Want It That Way was met with positive reception from most music critics. Stephen Thomas Lewin of AllMusic picked the song as a highlight on Millennium, calling it an infectious song that will be enough to satisfy anyone craving more, more, more. While reviewing their compilation, The Hits, Chapter 1, Lewin reassured that the song transcends their era, calling it a lovely pop tune. Jim Farber of Entertainment Weekly wrote the track ranks as the bubblegum ballad of the year. It's so likable, it doesn't matter that the group's voices are the sonic equivalent of warm milk. Legacy. I Want It That Way became one of the Backstreet Boys' signature songs and one of the most praised songs by the group. Rolling Stone listed Backstreet Boys at number 1 on their readers' poll, the best boy bands of all time, writing that the five-piece scored several huge hits, but their 1999 smash I Want It That Way is a genre-transcending classic. While listing the 10 biggest boy bands from 1987 until 2012, Billboard placed the band at number 2, writing that, they tallied up 6 Hot 100 top 10 hits including well-loved tunes like I Want It That Way and Quit Playing Games. I Want It That Way was also placed at number 2 on Complex list of the 30 best boy band songs. Kathy Iandoli wrote that, it's a song by the Backstreet Boys where Brian Littrell and Nick Carter weren't the only voices heard. The group had many hits, most of them carried by just a few members of the band. On I Want It That Way, each member got a chance to strut their stuff. While the quintet traded verses about heartache and mistakes, they were really just telling you that you were never allowed to break up with any of them. Ever. Shout out to the tax write-off of a verse from Kevin Richardson and the video that took place in the middle of an airport. However, did they make it through security? The song was also listed at the top of many lists that included their best songs. Bill Lamb of About.com ranked the song at the top of the list, writing that even Backstreet Boys detractors sometimes admit this single is a gorgeous pop ballad. The quintet's pure singing skills often set them apart from pretenders to the boy band throne. Emily Exton of VH1 chose the song, Among 20, as the best Backstreet Boys song, writing that, "It does a Euro unregistered trademark take weeks of phoning Carlsson daily to know that this the 1999 monster smash is the quintessential modern pop ballad, propelling the genre and the state of the boy band into the 21st century." Theory a Euro unregistered trademark call and response, human emotion, and allusions to fire even Charlie XCX Carly Euro unregistered trademark resist. Danielle Sweeney of thecelebritycafe.com also listed I Want It That Way at number 1, calling it quite possibly the greatest pop song of all time. If not, ETA Euro unregistered trademark at least BSBA Euro unregistered trademark greatest song of all time. The song was ranked number 10 on MTV Rolling Stone list of the 100 greatest pop songs of all time in 2000. VH1 listed the song at number 3 on the 100 Greatest Songs of the 90s, and number 61 on 100 Greatest Songs of the Past 25 Years in June 2003. Blender ranked at number 16 on their 500 Greatest Songs Since You Were Born list. Awards and accolades I Want It That Way was also nominated for 3 Grammy Awards at the 42nd edition. It was nominated for Best Pop Performance by a Duo or Group with Vocals, losing to Maria Maria, by Santana featuring the product G&B, Record of the Year and Song of the Year, both losing to Smooth, also by Santana, featuring Rob Thomas. The song was also voted the best boy band single of the past 15 years by Amazepop, topping the poll above the likes of Five Ives Keep On Movin' and Westlife's Flying Without Wings. Commercial performance I Want It That Way became one of the most successful singles by the band in most countries where it has charted. In Australia, the song debuted at number 6 on the ARIA charts week of May 16, 1999, dropping to number 7 the next week. Later, it climbed to number 3, before peaking at number 2, becoming their highest charting single, alongside As Long As You Love Me, until Incomplete surpassed them, in 2005, reaching number 1. It was certified platinum by the Australian Recording Industry Association, for selling over 70,000 copies. In New Zealand, the song debuted at number 2, peaking at number 1 for 2 consecutive weeks. It became their second number 1 single, after As Long As You Love Me. The song was also a number 1 hit in Austria, where it debuted at the top, before falling to number 3 and regaining the number 1 position again. It was also their second number 1 single, after Quit Playing Games. The song also topped the charts of Germany, Netherlands, Norway and Switzerland. In the United States, I Want It That Way was one of Backstreet Boys' most successful singles, peaking at number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart, for 8 non-consecutive weeks, also breaking the record for most radio station ads in its first week with 165. It also reached the number 1 spot on the Billboard Hot Adult Contemporary Tracks charts, where it stayed for 10 non-consecutive weeks. On the Billboard Top 40 Mainstream chart, it set a record for most weeks at number 1. In the United Kingdom, I Want It That Way became the band's first and only number 1 single, reaching its peak position on May 15, 1999. The song was also the 15th biggest-selling boy band single of the 1990s in the UK, selling 423,300 copies. Music video. The music video is set mainly at Los Angeles International Airport on April 1, 1999, and features prominent special effects scene transitions between shots. Notably, a high-speed zoom effect which makes it appear that the foreground subject has not changed to a new shot while the background has, fades in and out of white, and shifting between different film speeds during shots. Another special effects sequence using green screen, in which the band, dressed in white, would perform a dance sequence while being manipulated over the backdrop of an airport lobby, was mostly cut from the video, as it was felt that a dance sequence did not fit with the song, though elements of the dance remain in the second chorus, as do non-dance elements that sequence. As the band prepares to board their plane, they are greeted by a crowd of screaming fans bearing signs and flowers. The Tom Bradley International Terminal is featured when the band sings the chorus. The video reached number 35 on Mush Music's 100 Best Videos. The song's music video has been parodied by Blink-182 in their music video for the song All the Small Things. The video itself ranked as number 3 on the top 10 list of the most iconic videos of all time at the TRL finale. The video achieved over 150 million views on YouTube. Covers, parodies, and usage in media. Since its release, I Want It That Way has been covered on numerous occasions. In 2002, Dynamite Boy covered the song in a punk rock version for the Punk Goes Pop series. American musician Ryan Adams performed the song live several times starting in 1999, although his performance featured a bit of sarcasm. Selena Gomez and The Scene cover the song on their House of Blue tour. British boy band JLS performed the song in Everybody, along with two NSYNC songs, in a medley on their tour JLS Tour, in support of their second album Out of This World. Psychedelic rock band Vanilla Fudge covered it on their album The Return. In 2010, Steel Panther covered the song on a few live shows and released the single as a download in the UK, supposedly as a result of a bet. In 2013, the Glee cast covered the song on the episode Feud as a mashup with NSYNC's Bye Bye Bye. In 2013, Charli XCX performed a cover live at the Borderline Music in Chicago. The singer-songwriter also performed a version of the song in August 2013 for the AV Club a Euro SAV Undercover series. Also in 2013, British boy band One Direction performed a cover of the song during their Take Me Home tour, Live at a Stockholm, Sweden concert. Backstreet Boys member Howie D approved the cover, saying, "Eat a Euro unregistered trademark as nice to see groups like that pay homage to us. We definitely paid homage to groups in the earlier days that we admired, so Eat a Euro unregistered trademark is cool. I think they did a great job. It seemed like it went over really well." The song and the video received a lot of parodies. American radio personality Howard Stern did a parody with the song on his show called If I Went the Gay Way, which was sung by his band The Losers. Weird Al Yankovic made a hugely popular parody called eBay on his 2003 album Poodle Hat. The song peaked at number 115 on the Billboard charts. A parody called Which Backstreet Boy Is Gay became an internet phenomenon and also became misattributed to Yankovic. It was actually performed by the morning crew at Portland, Oregon, radio station KKLZ-FM, known locally as Z100. One of the most famous parodies come from the American pop-punk band Blink-182, who parody the music video for I Want It That Way, as well as Britney Spears' Sometimes, and Christina Aguilera's Genie in a Bottle videos, in their video for the song All the Small Things. Brazilian comedian Rufina Bastos parodied the band as Backstreet Farmers, sing the song. In 2013, British-Irish boy band The Wanted parodied the video for their music video for the song Walks Like Rihanna. The remix version of the song, entitled the Jack D. Elliott Remix, was featured on the soundtrack of the 1999 American romantic comedy Drive Me Crazy, starring Melissa Joan Hart and Adrian Grenier. Main characters Sean and Gus from USA Network's Psych, played by James Roday and Dula Copyright Hill respectively, sing a rendition of the song while trying to block Juliet from the spotlight during the end credits of the episode Forget Me Not. An animated version of the music video was shown on the beginning of the Arthur television special, Arthur, It's Only Rock and Roll. The 5 members were also featured as guest stars. The PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Microsoft Windows versions of Grand Theft Auto V, released in 2014/2015, feature this song as part of the in-game non-stop pop FM station. Track listing. Credits and personnel. Charts. Chart procession and succession equals. See also, list of best-selling singles in Finland. References. External links. I Want It That Way official music video on YouTube, full lyrics of this song at Metro Lyrics.